It's power! Power that packs in your pocket!
Hi there, this is Tets of Tets Toys and Shenanigans, and I'm here to present another Pocket Power review. This time, it is of the Pocket Power motorcycle. Once again, we have standard size based, good for pocket and palm sized, and you have your motorcycle securely held within. No dramas there. Ripcord up the top, this time nicely coloured yellow, and you can have a look at the back, which is fairly simple. Not much to it, just the SEGA stamp of approval. 1988, made in Thailand, patent pending. Sure is. Obviously this bit here is to pop the bike out, like so. And let's have a look at the bike. The bike, very thin, as one would expect for Pocket Power. The back wheel is a solid chunk of die-cast metal, very sexy. And the bike is fairly standard, not all that much detail on it. But I do like the handlebars here, actually fold out. So theoretically you could put a little man on there. Alright, so pop him there. Not quite tough enough to stand up by himself. Ripcord lives in, and by the looks of things does the old loop around the outside of the base. I believe this bit here is a kind of launcher for the bike. There we go, so it fits in snugly into the bottom there. So, after a brief investigation, I've since discovered there is an arrow pointing to where the ripcord needs to go, and it is there. And the ripcord goes straight into the bike, so you don't really need to use the launcher if you don't want to, I guess. So it just sits in there. Oh. So, after a fair bit of faffing around, I have half the ripcord in place. I would suspect that it's probably a bit easier to use without the launcher, because every time I put a little bit of pressure on here, the bike has a tendency to pop out, and because there is a piece of plastic between the bike and the launcher, it gets in the way. So I'll be curious to see if this actually can work without making the bike just randomly fall off somewhere. Check these out just in case they aid balance. Not so great. So, after a fair bit of failure with the launcher, which I suspect was probably a good idea in concept, but somewhat flawed in end result, although I do notice if you have a look up here, have a look along here, you can see there's kind of understand why after years of use that piece of plastic there would actually probably get a little bit mangled and worn out over time. So it could have well worked rather well back in the day when it was a new toy, but now it's probably a bit too loose to actually hold the bike in place. But you don't really need it for the bike, because the ripcord just goes straight through the wheel. And you can see there the little geared bit that the ripcord pulls on, and you just whip that baby out and it spins rather well. course, doesn't like going any further than that as well. Oh, there we go. Oh, not quick enough. That was pretty cool. One more try. And there we have it. That is the motorbike. Make sure you fold that in. Actually quite surprised to see that it has a kind of light decal on the front there. Nifty, but yeah, maybe not quite as resilient as some of the other pocket power items. Although it could have just been that this one in particular has been through a bit more abuse. But not a bad concept, not a bad idea. So that is the motorbike. And I'll have some more pocket power soon.